Montgomery Shot Weatherson bids you welcome to his animal hold. View these beasts for only 1 gold. I'll pay your 1 gold. You may enter. Remember that you're a guest and must abide by the rules of common courtesy. The guards do not listen to excuses. I imagine I'm going to have to kill all the guards to free the animals in the first place anyway. Oh, hi Jazz. Hello. You want to be on the stream? Say hello to everybody. Ah. Cat attack.
What?
Keep your manners while here. Your gold buys you a look and that's it. You should feel privileged that we work to stay open around the clock in these dangerous times.
Okay, I feel privileged. I'm feeling that privilege. Deep in my spleen. Hello. I don't like it here. The animals seem sad. I can kind of tell. Maybe I'll help them when I'm bigger. Aww.
Yes? Do make it quick.
Get lost. Can you see I'm spending a day with the family? Stare right into its eyes, boys. Show them no fear. Okay.
Yes, just go.
How dare you? Is this his little boys?
Hi there.
I wish they'd open the cages. Then you could cut the animals up for meat and stuff. Maybe even keep their heads. Oh, well, okay, let's...
No
Oh, I can't. I was going to open it up so he could cut his meat.
Hello there.
Or get butchered, like the dog he is. A fine collection. Reminds me of my days in the Adaran Aces. I tell you, we would wrangle the biggest, meanest... Hey, what was it we hunted? Boar! That was it. Nasty things. Ah, those were the days. These beasts here look a bit underfed, though. Not much of a challenge here. Not like the old days. Never dared to put these cages... Put things in cages back then. These beasts look cowed, frightened. Where's the honor in fight one of these? Okay. Fine. Be like that. Times sure have changed, I think. How do I open the doors?
No can do.
And change the camera style so it rotates for me. Then I'll immediately get stuck. Nice. Oh, God's sake. I guess it's this way. Ooh. No, that camera style don't work no well.
Make this fight count.
Hello, noble guards.
Be your last.
It's weird that some fights are so easy and some fights are ridiculously hard. The balance seems to be a little bit dodgy.
Here comes
Oh, I forgot a haste potion when I fought those things. That you get 2 attacks in a turn instead of 1 when you've got a haste potion on, I think. That might... Well, I don't know. I didn't even kill one of them though. But with double the attacks, I might have done. I wonder if it gives Tommy double attacks as well. Or if potions just affect you and not your henchman. Lots of gems, lots of gold, lots of jewellery. Oh, you're badly wounded. There's enemies nearby. I wonder if those... no, the beasts don't count as enemies. That's cute. Is that a tiger in there? Or a lion? So I need to... I've got a scroll to transport things via plants. And apparently there's a tree in the courtyard outside. And I've got to get... I've got to get all the animals from the zoo out to the tree where I can transport them away to the druid in the middle of the city. I'm intrigued as to what the Mages Guild quests are. Because you don't get them if you're not a spellcaster. So you have to be a sorcerer um, or a wizard. Save. Let's investigate the stuff in this room. Possibly a bard. Bards have arcane magic. Bards in 5th edition D&D are so cool. I think it's my favorite class. But unfortunately, you need to have a decent GM, and most GMs suck. Like, illusion magic should really be the most powerful magic in the game, but GMs completely fail to roleplay it, generally. Or at least, in my experience, GMs do. But most people play D&D like it's a board game rather than a story, than the game where it's about the story, which is kind of I don't know, lame. I find most RPGs, most tabletop groups that I've been in, play it like a computer game rather than like you're doing like a collaborative dramatic improvisation. Which I suppose is why things like Critical Role are so cool, because there's lots of not so cool, so popular, because they have interactions between the different characters rather than just everyone interacting with the GM. And but when you're GMing and the players are just wanting everything fed from you and don't come up with their own, they no matter what the problem is, they'll say, okay, I hit it with my axe, or I cast exactly the same spell, or something like that. It's completely uninteresting as a GM, because you're basically just telling them a story. For me, it's completely uninteresting as a GM, because you're basically just telling them a story. And the whole point is that it's meant to be a collaborative thing, so the players' solutions to things are meant to surprise you. That's a lot of crossbow bolts. Oh, I'm not taking very much damage. Now the 22 AC works. I'm hoping that I can run a game like that on stream. I was thinking Vampire, but I've recently been thinking Star Trek Adventures, because I think Star Trek Adventures could be a really fun game. It might end up being lame, I'm not sure. I'll have to give it a... Oops, there's one left. I'll have to give it a go. And see how it plays. Apparently the ship combat in Star Trek Adventures is terrible. Where's the... Hello? Rest? Rest? Save? Open some chests. Oh, there's another... Oh, I've not taken very much damage anyway. There's another enemy nearby, apparently. Oh. Stop locking every... Wait, why are you not unlocking it? Do what you're told, Tommy, or you will be under gallows.
It's done.
Yeah, I'm hoping to run an RPG. I might do a book adventure and just try and make it more interesting. Some book adventures really suck, but there's some vampire ones that are really cool. They have some weird ideas of different ways of storytelling. Problem is, the one that I really like, the Giovanni Chronicles, is I'm not sure how much agency the players have.
For honor and glory.
I thought his name was Weatherspoon there, but it's not. It's Weatherson. Does he own a chain of pubs? I don't think the guy who owns Weatherspoon is called Weatherspoon anyway. Save. And I should be able to rest once the music stops. It's weird, he seems to heal for 1 point when combat ends. Or maybe you're unconscious if you have a party, and so you heal so you can move again once combat ends. Oh no, I must have something that regenerates. I just healed for another point. Ooh, +1 longbow, More adamantine. I should really find out what I can do with adamantine. I've started Googling it when I pick up random stuff now. But in between streams.
It's done.
Or certainly in between YouTube videos. Leather armor, more stuff. Is there... I assume there's a lever somewhere that will open up the animal cages. I've not run. Well, I did run Vampire when I was at university, but that was a very, very long time ago, and I was awful. But I kind of interested in running a horror game. I find it weird that like having a party in a horror game seems like a really weird idea. Well, let's put the mace in there. Open. Right. Yeah, because I don't know. Because when you're playing a tabletop RPG, there's generally like quite a lot of joking and mucking about. So creating an atmosphere where people are actually scared. Although it's not, Vampire's not particularly about that. It's about exploring your inner monster and sort of perverse desires and things like that. But well, I mean, there's horror aspects of it as well. But things like Call of Cthulhu are I really would like to learn how to GM. I could read the book and see if that gives tips. Apparently Trail of Cthulhu is better than Call of Cthulhu though. Because Call of Cthulhu, you set out a whole bunch of clues and then they roll to see if they work out the clues, or they can just work out the clues, but then they can roll to see if they work out the clues. And then if they fail their roll, your story basically stops at that point. Whereas Trail of Cthulhu, I think...
no can do.
Other actions. Handle trap. Trail of Cthulhu... Bye-bye, Tommy. Trail of Cthulhu, there's a mechanic in it called fail forward. I'll have to go back and get him. That means that you... when you fail a roll, you...
So strange, you know?
You still succeed. When you fail a skill roll, you still succeed if it needs to move the story on. But it can... there's some negative consequence to it. So I think an example in the book was something like you're trying to befriend a... you're trying to befriend a captain on a ship. And you make a persuasion roll, and you fail the persuasion roll, but it's useful for the plot for you to befriend the cannibal, to befriend the captain. But the captain turns out to be a cannibal if you fail your roll. So it's quite, I don't know, it's an interesting way of doing things. It's the gumshoe system or something like that. That Trail of Cthulhu goes off. Right, in the bag of holding, open. They're not magical, so sell. Get Tommy. Oh, already got Tommy back, and then get back into the fray. Enter portal. I've got a habit of, because I've got my dashboard open over here, so I can see the viewers and the chat over here. So I've got a habit at the moment of looking over there and talking to the laptop. I really need to stop that and talk to the camera, because it's not useful. It looks like I'm talking to somebody off to the side. Oh well, I've only started streaming recently. I'm just learning, which is quite good that it's not that heavily watched game that I'm managing to... Oh, Master of the Pens.
I love this part!
Is he like a scribe or something, the Master of the Pens?
I love this part! No escape!
I got that Divine Might and I'd never use it. I should have got the passive skill instead. I can't remember what it's called. What it's called. But it adds. I think it adds my charisma to my damage, so it's actually quite powerful. Or is my to hit? No, it's just my damage. Okay, can we rest now? Yeah. But yeah, so having a party in games like Vampire and games like Call of Cthulhu is quite strange. Because especially if you're all of different clans. Werewolf's even worse because werewolf clans don't well, certainly in Apocalypse, there's not really much sense in the there's not much sense in the different werewolf they're not called tribes, that's what they're called, werewolf tribes working together because they're in different parts of the world and they have different goals, and it's mostly like defending their cairns, I think, from the servants of the worm and the weaver. The animal looks up slowly, unsure of your intent. You sense fear. Wait here until I use... Oh, right, okay. Wait here until I use Nyatar's scroll. The animal nods, hoping you will come back soon. You sense worry. It said, wait here until I use Nyatar's scroll on the tree outside. I have to find the tree outside. Oh, I didn't eat all the people that were outside. The animal looks up slowly, unsure of your intent. You sense fear. I'm guessing that's a lioness. Because it has no mane. And a panther. A black panther. Black panther's a tautology though, because a panther, I'm pretty sure a panther is just a black jaguar. So panther, black is already implied in panther. So saying black panther is actually saying the same thing twice. Wait out here. And dialogue. It's also totally overrated film. It's kind of ridiculous that there's the... I don't like criticizing Black Panther because people think you're doing it because it's a film with black people in. But it's like Wonder Woman. People lost their shit over Wonder Woman being amazing, and it was like a bad copy of Thor and Captain America. I mean, it was alright, but the ending was totally fucked. And the same in Black Panther. The character had basically no weakness. And they had to switch off their suits at the end in order for them to have weaknesses. So I don't know how you create any sense of threat. Where is the tree outside? Well, I guess it's outside. So we'll go back through here. Oh, there's a doorway there. That's where it is. Door to the giant tree. The door to the giant tree is probably the route that we should be going. Yeah, so the actual black, what is it, T'Challa, is the least interesting character in the film as well, which is the whole deal of Winter Soldier and Civil War, was that the Russo brothers said we want to actually have Captain America be the most interesting character in his own film, as opposed to previously where he's quite boring and square. But they seem to have done it with Black Panther. He's completely got nothing to him whatsoever. Anyway, before you stand the mighty tree, use the transport via plant scroll to transform the tree into a portal through which the animals of the zoo can escape when released. There we go. But what's his name? Michael B. Jordan's character was awesome. And Ulysses Claw. Well, he was better in the other one. Oh, do I need to go back in and talk to the animals? But he was quite fun. And what's her name? Shuri is fun. But I don't know if that's just because the actress is quite fun. Like, she's got a real energy to her. I don't know if the character was that exciting. I was watching a podcast that was talking about Black Panther last night, which is why I'm talking about a film that's a year old. Run to the tree outside, it will send you to freedom. The animal is instantly more lively, you sense great joy. next. But and also it's been nominated. It's the first ever superhero film that's been nominated for Best Picture. Run to the Street Outside, I Will Send You to Freedom, and it wasn't even the best superhero film of last year. Infinity War was far better than Black Panther. And I don't know what other superhero films came out last year. I didn't see Ant-Man and the Wasp 2 or Ant-Man and the Wasp because they delayed it for a month because of the World Cup, and I was like, screw you guys, if you delay it for football, I'll watch it when it comes out on video. Run to the Street Outside, it will send you to freedom. I do that sometimes, like I won't go and see Aquaman because Batman vs Superman was terrible, and what's it called? Justice League was garbage. Oh, I didn't see Justice League either because Batman vs Superman was terrible. But I've seen it since, and it is terrible. In the cinema, I mean. Right, so I need to go to the Great Tree. But I'll say your last film was terrible, so I'm not going to see this film. But apparently, Aquaman's actually quite fun. Although they said that about Wonder Woman. Are you not going? You're just going to stand here. Step into the portal and you will be free. Step into the portal and you will be free. Step into the portal and you will be free. It says something totally different, honest. No, step into the portal and you'll be free. Marvelous. But yeah, it's like a weird reason not to watch something. I like my one view. I suppose it's like, yeah, I don't know. It's like not voting as a protest. It doesn't actually say anything. Like nobody's counting the number of spoiled ballots and going, well, I'll start a political party then. So there's clearly a whole bunch of people who don't like the current options. Or not voting's even worse. But yeah, if there's nobody to vote for, you should form your own political party. Right, Black Lake. Problem is we've got a first past the post system, so nobody's getting into power except the Tories and Labour. And they both suck. And only care about power. And have no morality whatsoever. But half of my audience is American, so I should probably shouldn't talk about British politics. Right, Millie.
Business to you.
Oh, hello there, mister. Something I can do for you. Good. Who are you? Heh, most of the the rich folk around here parts just call me the cleaning lady. Weren't always so, of course. Once I had me a pretty name to match me face. The city pays me a bit of coin to go through the district and keep it tidy. Sure enough, I also takes laundry from my neighbours. So you've been in every house in the area? Not every house, silly boy, but close enough, as it makes no difference. Are there certain estates you don't go into? Oh my, you certainly wouldn't catch me going into Meldanon's estate to take his laundry. Of all things, no. Mind you, there was a time. Ah, but I should not talk about such things. I be an old lady. Old lady boy? Boy, best you leave me to work now. Oh, go on, what were you about to say? Oh, 'twas a long time ago, boy, when I were a pretty lass. Maldanon were a young nobleman, then, and handsome besides. His father, rest his soul, didn't approve of me, none. So young Maldanon used to sneak me into the estate, he did. Hee hee. But that were long before Meldanon became a wizard and such. He's no use for poor old women no more, and it's best left in the past. If he snuck you into the estate, perhaps that entrance still exists. Oh aye, it does. Meldanon had a magic door put in me very own home, which leads to his estate. It would open for me at midnight, you see. It's not much use now. I hear Meldanon was recently told to stop his foolishness, whatever it was. Not much is happening in Black Lake now. If you wish to use it some, My home be in the north end of the district. Here be my key. Take it. Just don't make a mess, mind you. I don't really have anything worth stealing in there, but you look like a guard anyway, so I don't think I need to worry about you. Just use the key and go in. I'm grateful. Take these 10 gold pieces as a gift from me. Thank you, my lord. 'Tis a fair amount of coin for a poor old woman to own. You're very kind. Did I? Oh, I gained points towards good. Goodbye. I guess that was what you do if you can't persuade the guard to let you in. I keep on trying to save with that. Right, shall we go try these two estates down here? The Rum Bottom and the other thing. Since I think I've cleared out pretty much everything else. I'll stop that YouTube video.